you, my lovely human, are going to manifest your dream life in 2024. I am going to make sure of that. Because after watching this video, you will have complete clarity on the practical aspects of manifestation, the rules, the techniques, how to implement them in your own life. You will finally understand how easy it actually is. It's not at all as complicated as people make it out to be. And you will gain the confidence to manifest whatever it is that you want to manifest in your life without having to consume any more content on manifestation. How do I know this? Because I have been manifesting my goals and dreams for over 5 years. My career, my relationship, the people in my life, my apartment, my lifestyle, everything manifested using the techniques and methods that I'm about to show you in this video. So subscribe, like this video so it can reach more people, and let's get started. Part 1 is the pillars of manifestations. These are like the fundamentals, the building blocks of manifestation. If you don't understand these, if you don't pay attention here, you will always be confused about why your manifestations are not coming true or why something is not working out for you, right? Pillar 1 of manifestation is change. Now, fundamentally, what does manifestation mean, right? It means that you want to change your current reality and go to a new reality or a new version of yourself or your life. And what does that involve? That basically involves change, because you can't be here and here in your new reality at the same time. You can't be in two places at once. So if you want to change from here and go here, you will have to get up, get uncomfortable. Your life might crumble around you. Things might not work out for you because these things are leaving you so that they can make space for your new reality, for your new version. So you fundamentally need to understand that unless you're comfortable with change, it becomes very difficult to manifest. Because when you want to manifest a new reality, when you want to level up in life, you have to leave behind the things that are holding you back. And if you're not leaving them consciously or by yourself, the universe will remove them from your life. Your current version of life, your current reality has to go out of balance and change to that new reality for you to be able to find balance there. But how do you get okay with the concept of change during manifestation or during that manifestation period? This is the second pillar of manifestation, which is faith or trust. You need to be prepared for this to happen, and you need to have full faith, full confidence in the process. You need to trust the process, trust that it is going to work out in your favor. And this trust is not just superficial trust, right? Not just standing in front of a mirror and saying, I trust the process, but fundamentally believing it in your bones. I'll give you an example. I started my manifestation practices back in 2017, 2018, I think. And I put everything up on a vision board. I started doing all of these practices, and I knew what I wanted my life to look like. But then immediately after, in 2019, everything in my life went for a toss. I quit my job. I lost money on a business that I started back then. My parents went through a very terrible separation. I lost contact with my father. The relationship that I was in at that point in time kind of crumbled right in front of my eyes. I did not have a lot of work going on for the entirety of 1 year, and I was not making a lot of money. And I was like, life was in shambles, essentially. Now, if I didn't have faith, if I didn't trust the process, I would have given up. And I would have probably gone back to a job that I hated. I would have made amends with people who are not supposed to be in my life. And then I wouldn't have gotten where I am today in 2024. So I trusted the process. I knew that what was meant for me was coming. Even if it was a little delayed, we can deal with delays. We can deal with things not happening in an instant because we trust the process. And as a result, 2023 was one of the best years of my life on a personal and a professional front. And I cannot thank the universe enough for that. If you don't have faith, the smallest blip in the road will just send you spiraling back to your old version, to your old reality, which is why faith is so important. Like Shah Rukh Khan says in Om Shanti Om, right? Picture abhi baki hai mere dost. If the ending is not yet happy, you have not reached your final destination, and there's still scope and there's still so much that can happen in between to make those dots connect for you. But if you're now asking, hey Adete, how do you trust the process? How do you have faith that this manifestation is going to work out if nothing has worked out in the past? This is where the third pillar of manifestation comes into play, which is energy shifts. Now, once I understood this concept, and I'm a very spiritually inclined person, so this was not a very hard concept for me to grasp, but once I understood this, it kind of made everything fall into place. You must have heard people say that manifestation is about vibrating at the frequency of your desired life. But what does that even mean? In simple terms, everything in the universe is energy vibrating at a certain frequency. This plant looks this way and stays this way because its energy is vibrating at that frequency where it's structured this way. I look and seem this way to you because I am, lots of particles and atoms and protons and neutrons vibrating at a certain frequency to make up Adete. Similarly, there's this gold ring, which is energy vibrating at a frequency, this frequency, which makes it stay like this. Now, if you change the frequency at which the energy of something is vibrating, you change the state of that thing. For instance, if we heat up this ring, it will turn into melted gold. It will no longer look like this ring, right? That frequency changes, it has changed state. If I boil water, the frequency changes and it turns into water vapor. So when you are trying to manifest a particular reality, you are basically causing a change in the vibrational frequency. You are changing the frequency at which that energy vibrates. So if you really want to manifest a different reality, you need to understand that you need to vibrate at that frequency. You need to exist energetically in that frequency to be able to physically make that change. But I know what you're thinking right now, ki Adete, if I'm somebody who is underconfident and broke, how do I suddenly start changing my frequency, changing my vibrational frequency to being that of somebody who is confident and rich or wealthy? The answer, my friend, lies in changing your actions, your mindsets, and your narratives so that you can start to align with your new identity, so that you can start to make that energetic shift in your whole life, in your whole persona, and eventually bring to life the manifestation that you have. The first is clarity, getting clear on what it is that you actually want to manifest. Throughout the day, we have so many, millions of thoughts running through our head. If we pay attention to each of them, we are not getting anywhere in life because it's a constant radio noise that is going on, right? And for most things in life, you're also always in a constant state of doubt. Oh, should I get this or should I get this? Or will getting this career make me successful? But if that makes me successful, what if it affects my relationships? So, that duality continues to stay in our mind. And wherever there is duality, that means that your energy cannot be channelized in a proper direction. So the first thing you want to do is really get clear on what it is that you want to achieve and become as specific as you want with it. When I started getting serious about YouTube, I had number goals written all across the board, right? That I want to get to 100K subscribers, I want to get to 100K subscribers, and we are actually very close to that goal right now. So that is how it comes to fruition. Anything that you put out in the universe, it grabs onto it only if there is a lot of clarity in your own thought process first. The second thing you want to do is get intentional about your goals and your dreams and your desires. Why I'm saying this is because a lot of the times the goals we have are a result of what other people project onto our lives. They are not really a reflection of our true desires, of our internal desires. And because of that, one creates a lot of duality in our mind because let's say your parents want you to do something and you want to do it because you love your parents, but that's not something that you internally want to do. You will always be in a space of conflict. It is not your intention. It is probably your parents' intention, right? So that is why you need to have a lot of intention behind your manifestations, because when you're intentional with setting your goals, you are more likely to stick with them in the long run and they're more likely to come true. The third and probably one of the most important things is gratitude. This, I think, is the biggest game changer in elevating your frequency, in changing your frequency, because when you practice gratitude, you automatically start aligning energetically with the things that you're grateful about. So if I'm grateful about having abundance in my life, if I'm grateful about the people in my life, if I'm grateful about the work that I get to do, I automatically start to align with the work that I want to do, with the people that I want to be with the abundance that I want to have. You cannot manifest better things in your life by operating from a place of lack. If you are constantly cribbing about your life, if you are constantly sad, if you are just constantly in this turmoil state where you are unhappy all of the time, you cannot magically manifest happiness. You have to change that frequency first to be able to attract more of the frequency you want to exist in, right? So gratitude is one of the easiest ways to do this, because every time you feel grateful for something, you truly feel grateful for something, you're just sending out a signal into the universe that this is what you want more of in your life. Number 4, and this is another big one, is attracting, not chasing. Okay, let me try and simplify this. When you are chasing after something, you are always constantly operating from a state of mind that that thing is away from you, and that is why you are having to chase it, right? Because if you truly had something, you wouldn't chase it. If you had the love that you wanted, if you had the career that you wanted, if you had the job that you wanted, would you chase after it? No. So you need to start operating from a place of attracting things in your life, because when you sit and when you operate from a mindset of abundance, when you trust the process, when you know that this is what is going to come to you automatically, you are not chasing after it. You're basically operating from a place of complete faith and fulfillment, which is why the universe starts to give you more of the things that create fulfillment and faith in your life. Now we come to number 5, which is kind of linked to the previous one, and that is detachment, which is not obsessing over the outcome. Obsession is a negative emotion. And when you have a negative emotion in your head, you must have seen that it leads to other negative emotions. It just creates this vicious cycle where you are stuck in a loop of negative thinking and negative patterns. And all of these negative emotions only come into your mind when you're operating from a place of lack, from a mindset that you're lacking something in life. And when you continue to operate from that mindset, the universe gives you more of that mindset, right? It continues to give you things in your life that will create that sense or that feeling of lack. Obsession is one of them. When you start to obsess over things, you basically know that you don't have it yet, and you just constantly want it, and you're running after it, and you're chasing after it, which is why it continues to elude you. Elude is meaning run away from you. So detachment often comes from understanding this proverbial Hindi phrase which says, "Kaam karte jao, phal ki chinta mat karo," right? So you put in your work, you do your practices, you do the hard work that is required for you to get to your goals, and then you leave it up to the universe to bring them to you instead of mentally just obsessing over them all the time. The 6th virtue that you need to develop is patience, right? Because a lot of the times manifestations don't just happen. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. If you trust the process, you will wait as long as it takes for that manifestation to come to fruition. But if you don't have the patience to do that, you can very easily just give up and say that this is not working and I'm not going to try it anymore. Patience is such an important virtue in this. I'll give you my own example. Like I told you, I started doing this in 2017, 2018, and it wasn't till 2022, the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023, and I'm talking specifically about work here, that I started seeing the results that I wanted to see with my own content, with the kind of clients that I worked with. It just happened last year, in the end of last year, despite me doing it for 3 years. If I didn't put in that work, if I just expected that manifestation to come true within 1 minute, I would have given up very early on. And where would that have led me? You have to understand that when you're trying to manifest something, when you're creating that energy shift, and when you're asking the universe to bring all of these new things into your life, you have to become that person before you receive everything that you want, right? And becoming that person takes time. And you have to be patient with yourself till you become that person as well. So patience is a highly, highly important virtue for you to develop when you're on this journey of manifesting. And the final and the 7th step is action, which is doing things consistently, showing up consistently as the person that you want to be and for the life that you want to live. Now, why is action important? With all of the things that we have spoken about above, action is also important from a mindset perspective, right? Because when you're doing something repeatedly, let's say I'm doing a visualization practice repeatedly, or I'm going to the gym regularly, repeatedly, to get my dream body. It's not just the act of doing it, act of going to the gym. Well, that is important, but what it does, that is more important. Basically, when you're doing an action repeatedly, it changes your mind to think in a certain way. So for example, if I'm going to the gym regularly and I'm looking at myself in the mirror every day in that gym, lifting those weights, I am visualizing in that time that my body is changing. I'm paying a lot of attention to my body. I am existing in that space where I believe or I think of myself as a healthy person. And that is actually what creates the shift that we are looking for, and which is why action is important. Now, I know that this might have seemed like a lot, so go grab a glass of water. I'm also going to take a sip of my coffee. before we get into part 3, which is the manifestation methods. Now, I know that there are hundreds of manifestation methods out there, but the 5 that have always worked for me are journaling, affirmations, visualizations, vision boards, and practicing the law of assumption, right? So that's 5. Now, before I talk about how I use these methods and what goes into them, I want you to remember that there is no right or wrong method for manifesting. And I say this because manifestation methods are like tools that allow you to elevate your frequency. But what resonates energetically with me, what makes me elevate my frequency, might be very different from a tool or a method that works for you. So take these steps as a guideline. I know these methods have worked for multiple different people because humans are fundamentally very similar, but if they don't, and if you want to go ahead and explore other types of methods, go ahead, feel free to do so. Whatever actually allows you to exist in the higher vibrational frequency as often as possible, those are the methods that you want to undertake. So journaling obviously allows me to do this because this is something that I do very, very regularly. I don't journal every single day, but it does happen a couple of times a week, and those times is absolutely enough for me to exist in the state of mind that I am writing about. So when I write about visualizing my dream life, I am actually existing in that reality, and that kind of helps me and grinds the wheels and, shifts me or pushes me more towards the reality that I want to exist in. My gratitude practice, for example, is a huge part of this. Every morning when I wake up, I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for. And this basically keeps me aligned, keeps me energetically in that space where I continue to receive more things that I am grateful for, right? And this has obviously become like a loop of sorts, and every day I do this, and every day I have more and more things to be grateful for. So this automatically just aligns with anything in my life that I want to manifest because I know I am going to feel grateful for that thing. The second thing that works really well for me is affirmations, which is basically speaking my new reality into existence, saying it over and over again till it becomes a reality. And it often happens with reading affirmations as well, because I have a lot of affirmations on my vision board. Every time I look at them, I take a few seconds to just feel them within myself. I repeat it out loud. And this has, of course, become a very, very automatic practice for me at this point in time. But every time I do this, it allows me to exist in the vibrational state that I want to exist in, right? So affirmations are such a quick and easy way to do this. You can have them written down on your phone, on your laptop, wherever you want it, and just access them at any time during the day. So yes, thumbs up for this method as well. The third thing I tend to do is visualization. And again, this is one of my favorite things to do. And I've made it a little more elaborate in the past few months, where I actually sit down, take 10 minutes out of my day before I go to bed, and I visualize exactly how I want a day in my life to look like, what I'm doing, where I'm sitting, what is the kind of body that I have, who are the people that I am with, what kind of apartment am I in. All of those things, I do it consistently every night I go to bed. And this does a couple of things, right? When I'm doing it before going to bed, it ends my day on a high note, and I go to sleep feeling really good about my life, feeling really good about myself. And because I've done that, when I wake up in the morning, I wake up with the same feeling, which means when I'm doing my gratitude practice, it just elevates that even more. So it becomes like this cycle where I'm ending and starting the day on a huge emotional high. And because I'm in a state of positive emotions, that just signals to the universe to send more positive emotions my way. The next thing that I do is vision boards. Of course, I have a full detailed video on how I create my vision boards. I do it on Pinterest, just picking out images that align energetically with what I want to feel in my life, my goals, my dreams, etc. And I have a widget on my phone that keeps rotating these images. So every time I unlock my phone, I have a new image from my Pinterest vision board, like right here. I don't know if you can see it. And that just makes it a lot easier for me to exist in that frequency, in the frequency of the images that I want to manifest every single time I unlock my phone. So go check out this video if you really want to understand how to make the vision board. It's actually very, very easy. But if you still need all of the steps, they're right here. And the fifth thing and the final thing that I do is practice the law of assumption, which is operating in your life assuming that everything that you want to work out for you has already worked out for you. To give you an example, I started calling myself a YouTuber long before I had like 5K subscribers on my YouTube channel. Another example, I decorate my apartment to make me feel like the best version of myself. I have shifted so many apartments over the years, and every time I shift, every apartment has like components of my dream apartment. But is it like everything that I want in an apartment? Probably not. But I know that I'll get there. But I won't get there if I just start cribbing about the apartment that I have now and just constantly obsessing over the kind of apartment that I want. It will happen if I make this place feel like I want my place to feel, right? So doing little things that basically align you with the reality that you want to live in. It's like a more advanced version of fake it till you make it, but you're not actually faking it. You're basically creating that energy shift. You are changing your actions in accordance with your new identity, and that brings that new identity to you a lot faster and a lot quicker than it otherwise would. I really want you to understand that with manifestation methods, when you're practicing these methods, you need to be radiating the energy that you want to manifest. I know that when I practice any of these methods, I feel that happening in my bones. Like I have goosebumps on my skin. Even when I'm explaining things to you right now, I have goosebumps. I can actually feel that shift happening. So you want to pick out methods that will make you feel the same way, because when you're energetically feeling that, when you're in that state of being, you're able to manifest better. And now we come to the final section, which is what you should do next. So before you click off this video, here are a few tasks that I want you to check off and start doing right now so that you can start bringing your manifestations to life right this second. The first thing I want you to do is write a detailed list of all of your goals, right? Whatever it is that you want to manifest, you don't have to put a timeline on it just yet, but just go ahead, write down whatever it is that you have in mind. After that, you are going to take an hour out of your time and describe an ideal day in your life. Doing this exercise basically condenses your goals and tells you which of these you actually want and which of these are just like projections of other people's thought processes on your life, right? Then you're going to go ahead and create your vision board. Go check out this video if you just want to do it digitally and keep it hidden from prying eyes. Create your vision board, put in pictures that align with what you want to achieve and what you want your dream life to look like. And then these are two practices that you're going to do every single day going forward. One is going to be mood check-ins at the end of the day, which means just assessing yourself, understanding whether you have been energetically in the field that you want to be in or whether you've been feeling sad about your life. And finally, you want to do visualizations before you go to sleep or after waking up first thing in the morning, right? So start doing these, start visualizing your dream life, and before you know it, your manifestations will be coming to life. And my SD card on my camera has run out, so I'm not sure if all of this getting recorded, if it's just the audio, please forgive me. But I will see you guys in the next video. I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to have your dream life come to life.